In this video, we're going to continue to solve or practice solving equations. So this is, I believe in your book, this is page 68. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the problems. We'll look at number 11. So if I were to add 1 to both sides, I'd be left with x equals -4. Right? So there wasn't too much to do there. If I look at number 16, well, I'm multiplying x by -4, so to undo the multiplication, I can divide by -4. But whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I'd be left with just x equals 24 divided by -4 is -6. That'd be my final answer for 16. Let's take a look at a two-step problem, like maybe number 15. Okay. First thing I have to do is add 1 to both sides. And that would leave me with 5x equals, it looks like -11. And then to get rid of the 5, right, to undo the multiplication, 5 times x, I divide by 5. And you see I'm left with x equals -11 over 5. Right? That'd be my final answer. And one more just to be safe. If you look at number 20, it's a two-step problem. Again, my goal is to get the x's to one side and the numbers to one side. So if I subtract 10 from both sides, I'm left with 3x equals, let's see, 15. -15 minus 10 is -25. And if I divide both sides by 3, you're left with x equals -25 over 3. Okay? And again, the answers to all of these problems are in the back of your book. So I would definitely try to complete some of the problems and then check your answers, okay? But this should be good practice for now. All right, let's keep going. Next, it says translating word problems into equations. So, for example, if you look at the practice exercises, right, it says the output is 4 less than 3 times the input. And I think they're telling us that the word input is the x and f of x is the output. So you can either use the letter y or f of x, okay? So over here it says f output is 4, right? So if output is represented by f of x, the word is means equals. 4 less than is 3 times the input. So here's 3 times the input, 3x, right? Because x is equal to the input. And then 4 less than 3x would be -4, okay? So if you wrote f of x equals 3x minus 4, I take it. But if you wrote y equals 3x minus 4, I would also accept that, okay? And for 22, the output, so f of x is the output because that was what's written up here. The word is means equals, twice the input, so that's 2 times the input is x, right? And then I may as well do the last one, quotient. Quotient means division. So the quotient of the inputs, that's x and 6, is equal to, right, the word is means equals, the output is f of x. Done, right? And again, if you wrote this, x over 6 equals y, I would accept that. If you wrote x divided by 6 equals y or f of x, I would accept that as well, okay? I hope that helps. Let's keep working through some problems. Number 25, we have like a word problem. So it says find the remaining value on a $25 prepaid transit card if each ride costs $3.50. So the first thing it says is to decide on your variables, determine which variable is the input and which is the output. So I guess I'm going to say x, that's going to be my input, and that's going to equal number of rides, and I'll say y is my output, and that's going to be equal to value remaining. Right, the value remaining on your card. So I used to live in Hoboken, so I used to ride the PATH train into New York every day. So you might buy a prepaid card that has $50 on it, and every time you rode the train, $1 would come off the card. All right, so the value on the card, Y, is going to be equal to the 25 minus, oops, my pen fell, the number of rides. So I'm going to take away 350 every time I ride. So, excuse me, if I ride 2 times, I'd put in a 2. If I ride 4 times, I'd put in a 4 for X. So this equation would tell me the amount that remains for any number of rides. Okay? Let's take a look at the next page. So in the last page, in the last video, we talked about solving equations symbolically, right? Replacing symbols with numbers. Now we're going to look at solving equations numerically, okay? And whenever we say numerically, we're really looking at the table. We're talking about, some books even call it the table method, but this is really a numerical way to solve a problem. So for example, if I give you that f of x equals 3x minus 4, we can solve this for any number we want. So if I want to solve this, if I were to say, what happens if x equals -2? Well, you would go down to -2 on my table, and your answer would be -10. So if I plug in -2 into x, I should get -10. Right? If I said, what's the value of this equation if x is equal to 4? Well, I would go to my table, look for the value x equals 4, and my answer should be 8. Right? So if I put in 4 to this equation, I should end up with positive 8 as an answer. Okay? Okay, let's take a look at example 4. So up top here, I was telling you the value of x was 4, and the value of y would be 8, or when the value of x is -2, the value of y is -10. If you look down here, these problems, they're telling you the value of y. Okay, so they're telling me that y is equal to 2. Find the value of x. That would give me 2. So I can go up to my table and see, okay, here's when y equals 2. It looks like the value of x would also be 2. So the answer to this equation would be x equals 2. Okay. Now you could solve this the long way, right, by subtracting 4 from both sides and dividing by 3. Right? If I look at letter B, they're telling me the value of y is -4. What's the value of x? So in this case, the answer would be x equals 0. Right? And it makes sense. If I put in 0 for x here, I end up with -4 equals -4. Sometimes you have to estimate, right? For letter C, we're trying to figure out the value of x when y is 3. So y equals 3 is somewhere in here, right? It's in between the 2 and the 5. So my answer should be x is between 2 and 3. So I might say something like x equals 2.5. That could be an estimate. And if you're estimating, usually your equal sign would be a little wavy, right? That's an approximate answer, right? X is somewhere between 2 and 3, when y is somewhere between 2 and 5. Okay?